Hey there! Sorry, I think I kicked the tripod. I just moved my chair oddly, and I have a strange face. Okay, I started a video series a long time ago about my personal fountain pens, the pens that I've actually decided to keep in my personal collection. And once in a while I realize, oh, actually, I added a few that are not in that series. So I thought what I would do today is pick up that series again, and over the next weeks or so I have five of those pens that are not in that series yet. I'll put them in. If you are new to that series, these are not reviews, so I'm not going to go in depth on likes and dislikes. These are more the personal stories, so to speak, behind the pens, why I've chosen to keep them, why I like them so much. All those pens have been reviewed, so you can look up the review of the pens and get more details if you want. I try to keep these videos a little short, but I will do a writing sample. Otherwise it's kind of weird to talk about a pen but not show you how it writes. The final thing I will say is everything is always in motion. That list of pens, I was going over it on my website, the index to those my personal pen videos. There are certain pens that are in there that I no longer possess. Because even though I may at some point think this is something I want to keep forever, sometimes that opinion changes again. And I do not have an exhaustive list. So before people now reach out, ask yourself if it really increases your life quality to really know what pens I still possess. If it really does, then perhaps I can make a list, but I kind of doubt it does. Okay, so today we're going to focus on one pen, and that is the Leonardo MomentoMagico that I saw and that I decided to keep. Why? Let's talk about that. The MomentoMagico, I think, is a very fun pen. It's a Leonardo pen. It's no secret, I own a number of Leonardos. I like it, the pens generally as a brand. The MomentoMagico is much like a Momento Zero, which was the original pen Leonardo released, but it has a couple of, you can call them upgrades, improvements, revisions, call it what you like. First of all, it is no longer a cartridge converter filled pen. This pen has an actual piston in it, piston turning knob, so it has a much larger ink capacity, and the ink capacity is really quite big. The second thing that's nice, and I can't show you that, but you can purchase a wrench to actually disassemble the piston unit to maintain it, put some silicone grease in, etc. I do not have this wrench yet, but I shall be trying to con Joost Appelboom out of one, following which there should be a disassembly line of this pen, which would be very useful to everyone, would it not? Comment below, #leverage. Okay. Another upgrade is, it has a very nice, in my mind at least, a very nice center band, which you can see here has a nice symmetrical pattern, which I really liked a lot. Also comes in a nice box, which has sort of a cutout in black, that's that same pattern, and then orange beneath it, so you can really see. It's very cool. In the review of the pen, I show you that box. I like that a lot. In my mind, one of the biggest improvements of this pen over the standard Momento Zero is that this pen has an ink window. So it is immediately apparent to you how much ink you have left. And although it may not be very easy to see, because I should have put a lighter ink in, but I didn't think of that, sorry. You can actually see the ink window with the pen capped. So the advantage of that is, even with it capped, you can quickly check how much ink you have left. That, I think, is a massive improvement. If you look at the Momento Zeros are cartridge converter fill pens, you can quickly unscrew the barrel. But the Momento Zero Grandes, or the Furore Grandes, they actually are true piston fillers. You have no idea how much ink is left. So I think this is a really, really cool thing. And personally, I hope we will see this on more Leonardos in the future. Beyond that, this pen has just a steel nib. It's not gold, but it is a 1.1 millimeter stub. I'll show you how it writes. That's, I think, easier than talking about it. What I will say is it's a steel nib, but it functions really well. It's a nice stub, gives a nice amount of line variation that I have really appreciated. I will personally take a stub over a flexi nib any day of the week. That's just because of my handwriting, the way I use my pens. So this gives you that, I always call it the calligraphy light effect, where you even if you know nothing about calligraphy, an italic nib can make your handwriting look just a little bit fancier, simply because the line variation it naturally creates. I'll show you that again in the writing sample. And that's it. So the MomentoMagico, they are a bit more expensive than the regular Momento Zeros, but in my mind you also get quite a bit in return. A true piston, not a captive converter, a true piston, an ink window, the ability to disassemble the pen. You do have to purchase that wrench separately. I would really love it if in the future there could be a TWSBI type situation where you get the wrench with the pen. I think the price of the pen warrants throwing in that little wrench, but you know, that's me. I think it's a very nice pen. So let me show you how this pen writes. And I hope I've not messed up my audio by moving around a lot, because I think I flipped around my microphone. If I have, then I do apologize. Let's write with the pen. Okay, let's have a look then at the MomentoMagico that I have here. And I'll try to show you why I like that nib so much. This is the Leonardo MomentoMagico. This is a 1.1 millimeter italic or stub. Stub may be a little bit more appropriate because it's not that crisp around the edges. It's just a steel nib, and this is Laban blue ink. This nib I have found, it's not buttery smooth as some people love. I quite like it, and on very smooth paper it's actually very pleasant to use. On paper with a bit more texture you'll feel a bit more feedback, which not everybody likes. I've never really had an issue with that, but that's me. This is not even writing anymore, but that's okay. Fast writing is fine too. I found it to be a very pleasant writer. I like the natural line variation it gives. It may not be quite crisp enough for really hardcore calligraphy, but certainly you can do something with it. And I just find that in general it does a very good job at adding a little bit of flair to your handwriting, just because of the way it's built. And I like it. I like it a lot. I like everything that I've mentioned before. There's the ink window, there is the piston. It has a lot going for it, and that's why I love it so much. So there you have it. My love affair with the MomentoMagico. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.